My father was a professional photographer my whole life. And so I grew up, our second bathroom was always a dark room, for example. And I just always grew up around photography equipment. Every time the family went out, there was a photography angle. So I just was very familiar with it my whole life. And I acquired a little camera when I was like 8 years old and started taking pictures. I'm Laura Fowler Massie, and I am a photographer, predominantly an outdoor portrait photographer is sort of what I'm doing most these days. I do a lot of volunteer photography for local live music festivals. And so here in Chelsea, the Gatineau Hills Fiddle Festival, and I always shoot Angel Share, for example. And I do a lot of work with Fab Sur Mill, and I do a lot of their photography for their live music shows. And I moved into that kind of photography recently because I wanted to challenge myself and push myself. Live music photography is difficult, and the ever-changing light and all of the equipment on stage and whatnot. So I felt like it was a good opportunity for me to push myself and learn new skills. I like to shoot the fan experience, and it's really fun because you go on your own by yourself in this big crowd, but you have your buddy with you. I have my buddy, I have my camera, my friend. I love to do street photography as well. So I'll oftentimes, if I want to practice a certain technique or something like that, I'll go into the city, and then sometimes I'll just park myself on a bench and wait until see what passes by that might be interesting. And so I do a lot of that kind of thing. It's still in that same kind of genre of catching people authentically in their kind of natural lives. Some people, of course, as you know, are relaxed in front of the camera, and those are they're easy. And then there's other people, which can be maybe the majority of people, who are, intimidated by the camera. So how do I get them to soften and relax? Well, when it's a family shoot with young children, that's really easy for me because I'm very, very comfortable with young children. So I basically talk to the children and work with the children. And parents, of course, they love that. They love that when their kids are being adorable and cute and outgoing and fun and engaging with somebody. So that's how I soften up the parents, usually. Well, I'll get the children running, I'll get the parents running with them, and oftentimes that'll help them to relax because you just can't stay all stiff and anxious when you're running around laughing and dancing and whatnot. It's definitely an organic process for me. I have an idea. I usually will go, depending on where the location is, I go and scope out the location and think about, okay, this and this and this. And then of course it's outdoor photography. So what's the weather doing? So that's really going to impact, super sunny day. I try not to shoot, of course, in the high noon. Families are coming to me because they want a little bit more of a casual type of a feel. They don't want a studio portraiture. And I spend much of my time really almost half and half between Chelsea and Wakefield. I'm very connected to both of the villages and the environment. And so I really don't do portraiture anywhere except for Chelsea and Wakefield because I want to shoot in my environment. That's kind of what I feel like I'm offering, to be honest. And it's so beautiful every season, and you get a different tone, a different, feel or emotion that you can capture. You are marking a time in the life of the family, right? And I mean, everybody has phones and they're all snapping pictures, but when you're doing sort of a portrait shoot, it's not that. It's more significant. People are more invested in marking that point in history in their family. So I do feel a responsibility, to be honest, to make sure that I do get something good, you know, something that they're going to like. And I have to say, I feel that a lot. I feel like, oh, you know, did I do them justice? Did I capture something that's going to be a treasure? Because I feel like that's my job there, is to capture these little treasured moments.